Hello, I am Minecraft Phenom 08, and welcome to the 26th episode of my second 1 billion iron ingot challenge. In today's episode, I plan to set up another NuclearCraft fission reactor, but first I want to do a few things. And one of those things is I want to reprocess all of this depleted TBU fuel that I have because it can give me a number of very valuable things. Actually, everything it gives me is pretty valuable. It'll give me uranium-233, 235, neptunium-236, and neptunium-237, all of which can be super useful. So I plan to do that, but first I need to make a fuel reprocessor. So I think I have just about everything I need to make this, and actually I do. So I just need to go ahead and put the pattern in here, and then I can request one of these bad boys. So let's go ahead and do that. In addition, I want to grab some black hole units. And that's because I want to set up some storage for some NuclearCraft fuel type stuff. So let's go ahead and set up the black hole units. So I don't know how many I'm going to need, to be honest, but for right now, let's go ahead and grab 10. This probably won't be enough, but I don't really know. Right now it'll definitely be enough though. So let's grab some enemy conduit as well, and I want to grab the dense variant. Apparently I do not have this in my system. I should probably do that right now. So okay, let's actually spell this out. Conduit. Yes. Okay, so the enemy conduit is, let's use this recipe for that, and then for the dense conduit we will use this recipe because it's the only recipe. And then we can go ahead and put these in here as well. And let's grab some facades while we're at it. Might want to grab more than that at some point, but that's okay for right now. So right now we just have this one reactor running. I have the thorium system right here, and I've actually changed it a little bit. In the past I actually had an export bus exporting the thorium ore directly into here, but now I have a storage bus holding all of the thorium ore that I have in this black hole unit, and then this pulverizer can just simply take it from the black hole unit as it needs it. So that works pretty well. I think along the back of the room I am going to have my black hole units. So let's go ahead and see if we can't set this up real fast. Okay, so this will be the middle of the room. So right now I'll put down 9 of them. And then I also need to grab 9 storage buses. Actually, you know what? We'll do 8 for right now, just because 8 is a really nice number in terms of regular applied Energistics cable can carry 8 channels. So 8 channels will actually do a little bit better. So what we can do is actually get rid of that. And then let's grab some buses, like I said. I'm going to grab storage buses for this. So let's go ahead and make 10. I only need 5 more. So for right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set them down here. And I'm actually going to tell them to all have a negative priority. And that's because I don't accidentally want random things going into these things. So if I set them with a negative priority, nothing should come into the black hole units through the storage bus, which is what I want, at least for right now. And then I should probably grab some covered cable of some sort. Let's go ahead with the blue. I've used a lot of the blue cable, so that'll work well. And then I think we'll run our applied Energistics cabling right here. Let me do a quick calculation here. So I should have... Okay, so I don't have any channels hooked up down there. What do I have hooked up here? Let me go upstairs and check something out because I'm not sure what all Okay, so I should have, something like 2 channels. So yeah, I have a lot of channels left to play with on that cable. So I should not have any problems there. So that means I should be able to hook this up without any sort of problem. So we'll grab the dense ME conduit and we'll just run this across the room like so. And then we can just drop this down. There we go. The next thing I want to do is I want to set up that fuel reprocessor that I have. So actually, before I do that though, I want to grab some stone somewhere. There it is. And cover this up. And then we'll set the fuel reprocessor up. You know what? Let's do it along this wall. I'm not doing anything along this wall. What we can do is set it up. Let's do it right here, because I can easily get power from right here, just dropping this flux duct down. So I need something like 4. I think I grabbed 1 too many. That's okay. And then I will need a couple buses here. Let's grab an export bus and an import bus. And we can just do 1 there, 1 there. Perfect. And drop that down like so. Okay, so what we need to do is, I actually want to grab some speed upgrades for this thing. I'm not sure how many I'm going to actually use, but right now I need to grab that used TBU fuel that I have. I already have it. Derp. That was dumb. I do want to grab some cards for the export bus. I want to grab a capacity card and then 2 acceleration cards if I can. So let's just tell this to make a few of these. It will not hurt to have extra. And I'm throwing the capacity cards in here because I will have multiple fuel types in the future. But for right now, it's just all of this right here. What I'm going to do with all of this, though, is I'm going to grab this out. And I'm going to tell my storage buses to keep these. So this will be 233, 235. This will be, actually, this will be Neptunium 236 and 237. This one will be Uranium 238. But I'm not there yet, so that's okay. And then let's go ahead and actually I want to grab some acceleration cards for the import bus as well, just to speed things up a little bit. And then let's see here, this uses 20 RF per tick right now. Let's go ahead and speed that up. I want to make it faster but not use like a super unreasonable amount of power. I think 10 speed upgrades is a good amount, because 1,320 RF per tick is going to be nothing, pretty much. Well, it's not a whole lot to me right now, so that's okay. One thing I think I forgot to do over here is I need to set these to positive priority now that I have something in them, or now that I want to have something in them. Okay, so this should be the 237, this will be the 236, Uranium 235, and Uranium 233. Fantastic. So the next thing I want to set up is I actually need to make a new type of fuel, because my new nuclear or my new fission reactor will use a different type of fuel. So let's take a look at NuclearCraft here, and let's take a look at all the different fuel types we have. Right now I'm not going to worry about any of the oxide fuels because I don't have any oxygen and I don't have an electrolyzer to make oxygen. I could easily do that, but I'm not going to. And I'm not really sure if I'm going to at all in this series. But anyways, some options that I have right now would be LEU 233, which provides 144 RF per tick to 60 heat per tick. I could go with LEU 235, which provides 50 heat per tick at or 120 RF per tick at 50 heat per tick. So let's see here, 60 to 144 and then 50 to 120. So I can easily do either of these, because if we take a look back at the, actually I need the used TBU fuel, if I can find the depleted version of this, and I'm having issues. It's probably, here it is. So if we take a look at the recipe in the fuel reprocessor, I actually get more fissile uranium 233 out of a depleted TBU fuel than I would need to make a single uranium 233 clump of fuel, because to make the actual fuel itself it only requires 1 233, which is made of 9 of these little chunks here, and I get 16 each time one of these guys is processed. So that's one option. I could also do uranium 235. I should mention that if I do either of the uranium fuels, I do need to get uranium 238, but that is actually rather simple. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with the uranium 230. you know what? I'm going to go with the uranium-233. But first off, like I said, I need to set up a system to actually process the uranium fuel. So let's go ahead and do that right now. So I will need, I think, an isotope separator here. I probably don't have this automated yet, so I should probably, yes, I need another one of these guys. And I do not have this automated, so let's go ahead and do that right now. It is a machine that I will need a bunch of or some of in the future. So let's go ahead and do that. Fantastic. So it looks like I have just about everything I need. Oh, whoops. Isotope separator. Here we go. Need one of these guys. I'm going to need, once again, an export bus and an import bus. Import bus, export bus. There's actually a few different ways I could set this up. And let's, what would be the best? I'm not really sure what would be the best way to do this, to be honest. Because I could go for I could build a system like this to where it actually makes the fuel itself. And that would not really be a problem at all. Or I could, you know what, I'm going to continue with this system right here. I'm going to just store everything back here if I can. Maybe. Yeah, I'll go ahead and try to use this. So let's go ahead and set up the isotope separator. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it right here, and underneath here I'm actually going to run more flux duct. And that's where I'll get the power. I'll just run flux duct down and around, and then that way I can just set up an import bus right here. I can do an export bus right here, and then I can do some covered cable there. And what I'm going to export to this is to actually make the uranium-238 is what I need. I need to export refined uranium ingots or uranium grit, either way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to export the refined uranium because I have those in ingot form. And I will get the large chunk of uranium-238 from each of them, and then a tiny clump of uranium-235, which I can store pretty easily over here. So let's go ahead and do this. Let's grab some acceleration cards as well. And I actually want more. Let's just go ahead and make a bunch of these things. I am going to use them rather a lot, so why not just make a bunch? Okay, so export bus, uranium, acceleration cards, more acceleration cards. Like I said, I need some flux duct, and I need what, 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I think 4. And then let's grab some covers as well, just to make things look nice. Perfect. And just so I can get this right on the first try. There we go. And then let's cover this back up. Boom. Okay, this has power. What are we waiting on? Okay, that was weird. It just didn't want to go, apparently. So how many speed upgrades do I have over here? Because I'll probably need a similar amount over there. Woof, I'm using a lot of power right here. Okay, so actually I'm going to do, let's try 20. Okay, so 2,310 RF per tick. That is a decent amount of power. So over here, I want to go ahead and set up this storage bus. So let's tell it uranium-238, give it a positive priority. That way the uranium-238 just does make its way into here, and that looks good. So that's cool. One more thing I think I'm going to do down here. I think I'm going to go ahead and make the fuel down here as well. So, okay, so I think I'm going to go ahead and use this item duct structure that I already have to get the items or the new fuel that I'm going to be making up to the new reactor. I actually have the new reactor already built. It's been built for a few episodes. I just don't have anything in it at this point. As you can see, nothing in it. And it's not hooked up power-wise, or it's not hooked up to anything. It's just kind of on an island at this point. So what I need to do is I need to make fuel with it. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to need a couple of crafters. I do not have those automated quite yet, so let's go ahead and do that. And there are a few different things I could use. You know what, let's go ahead and use a sequential fabricator. And let's go ahead and automate this as well. Because it's definitely something I will be using in the future. So I think I need 2 of these for this build. So there we go. We got those 2. Let's get rid of that. I'm trying to slim down some of this crap in my inventory. You know, I probably shouldn't have got rid of those covers because I believe I'm going to need them because I need to run flux. I will need to run flux duct from the reactor. So let's go ahead and grab those back while I'm thinking about it. And I don't think I need that. Okay, so I am going to need a couple more buses. I'm going to need more power. Okay, so let's go ahead and just set up the sequential fabricators. The first one here is just going to be to convert the little clumps of uranium-233 into the bigger clumps. And then actually, you know what? I think I do need crafters here rather than sequential fabricators. And the reason why is I think I need the buffer space, the remembered buffer space. So I'm going to come back over here and let's try this. Crafter. And I don't think I have redstone torches automated yet, so let's go ahead and do that. Cool. There we go. This should actually do better than the sequential fabricators. Okay, so let's place these down, and we can do this just about anywhere. Let's do it here and here. And let's do conduit for the power. We'll do energy conduit. Let's make some more of that. And then we'll grab some item duct because I'm going to need that. Can do item duct. We need to extract from here, insert here. Actually, we'll need to do both, I believe. And I need to change the colors. So I think I've already used green and brown. So I have brown right here and green. Yeah, I have green and brown, or green. Yes. So I need different colors here. This needs to be out on blue. So this needs to be in on blue. And then we can call this out on purple. Okay, I think that'll work. Because what I need to do is I need to... Let's go ahead and grab a couple import buses here. I need export buses, not import buses. My goodness. Okay. Let's get the right thing here. And then let's grab some acceleration cards as well. And then we need to grab a few of the things we need. So I need uranium-233 and then uranium-238. Okay, so this will be export there. This first one needs to be export of the uranium-233 with the cards, and then this one will be need to export uranium-238. There we go. And what I'm going to do right now is let's hit the remember key for that, and then for these guys, I'm like, why am I not getting stuff in here? It's because none of it's connected. Oh my goodness. So I'm just going to move these torches, because I need to hook this up some way, and I'm going to do it like so. There we go. I also need power to these guys. You know what? Oh my goodness. I don't like the way I'm doing anything right now. Let's try this again. So, put this bus back. This is the 238. With the cards. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to replace most of this with the conduit. And I'm going to put those torches back where they belong. And I can do that because if I just go ahead and use the ME conduit right here, that'll just work a whole lot better. Because I can do something like this. In addition, I should, okay, maybe I can't do that. I was thinking that maybe the Ender Energy conduit could hook up to the flux duct here, but apparently cannot. That's okay though. I can just simply punch a hole over here and do this. Oh shoot. Okay, there we go. These should have power now. Yep, perfect. So actually I need to hurry up and set up this recipe. This recipe is real simple. Apply, boom. And then what I want over here, what I want to do with the remember thing is I actually, okay, stop. I want to set up most of the spots to be for the 233, and then the rest of them can be for the 238. Okay, that should be good. And then I can hit remember here, and then, yeah, only... Actually, I should have done that in reverse. It doesn't really matter, to be honest. Yeah, should have done that in reverse. Okay, that's good, though. So we have some fuel now. It just has nowhere to go. We can fix that in a little bit, though. Okay, so what I'm going to do to actually get the items and stuff up to the reactor is I'm going to run item duct. And as you can see, I have this set up to be output on purple. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hook all of this flux duct up together, or item duct, item conduit, not item duct. Oh my goodness. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, that should all work. Everything should remain functional. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run this up. And I can do it over here. And while I'm here, I need to go ahead and facade this up. And then, let's see. Let's go ahead and connect it to the side. I need to connect the flux duct up to the bottom. Actually, it probably doesn't matter where I put the flux duct. But I'm going to go ahead and do the item duct in the side here. Do something like that. It's not the cleanest solution, but it definitely will work, so that's okay. So this needs to be in on purple and then out on brown, and the out on brown will carry the used fuel down to this guy right here, as we can see, insert on brown, and then all this stuff gets imported into the system. Basically what this is this is for used fuel. So that's where that's going. And then we should see the LEU 233 fuel making its way up here, which it looks like it is. So that's fantastic. And then the next thing I need to do before I actually fire this thing up or start building it, I guess, is I need to connect up some flux duct, because we need a way to get the power out. And that's going to be done with this flux duct right here. I think the easiest way to do this might be actually to run it the other way. Yeah, I think this will work all right if I just run it down like this. Oh, I know it's right there. That's okay though. Should not be a problem. One thing I can do since I have covers is I can actually run this on the top side here. I can set this to be in and run the flux duct just simply like this, and then I can put some covers on it and everything will be good. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go off camera. I'm going to grab some covers because I don't have enough to completely do what I need to do, and I'm going to clean this up a little bit, and then once I have that done I will be right back. Okay, I'm back and I am inside the reactor that I am going to be building here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to experiment with a new design. And that is because the fuel that I'm going to be using is quite a bit hotter than the TBU fuel that I used in the last reactor. So let's go to the NuclearCraft fuels and let's take a look at the difference here. We were using the TBU fuel in the other reactor. It only produces 18 heat per tick. The LEU 233 fuel that I'm going to be using in this one produces 60 heat per tick. So the same reactor design obviously will not work. So I think I have something in mind that may or may not work. I really hope it does. So what I'm going to go with is I'm going to go with three different columns of fuel here rather than the 5 that I had before. In addition, I'm going to make them a little bit shorter. Rather than being 9 high, they will be 7 high, and they will be spaced out a little bit more. And this will allow me to do some different things with some cooling. So what I'm going to be using on the exteriors, just like before, between the fuel rods and the reactor wall, is I'm going to be using Lapis Coolers. I can use them on either side here. So, oh, whoops, I did not mean to place that. And if I come up here, I should be able to just get rid of it right there. Boom. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is, let's go ahead and place the corners while I'm thinking about it. Once again, we're going to use Enderium coolers in the corners because that's the only place I can use them, and they are pretty good coolers, so might as well go ahead and do this. Okay, so the next thing is I'm going to be using a combination of water coolers, redstone coolers, and gold coolers. Water coolers can be beside a reactor cell or moderator block, so these are reactor cells. Redstone coolers must touch one reactor cell, and then gold coolers must touch one water cooler and one redstone cooler. So what I'm going to do is let's grab some water coolers, and I'm actually going to put them around the middle fuel rod here. I'm going to put the water coolers here, and then, and I keep doing that. And then I'm going to put redstone coolers over here. On this side of the fuel rods, or yeah, and then in the middle I can use the gold coolers like this. So obviously that works out pretty well. In addition, on the bottom here I need to come up with something. I think, okay, so I have redstone here. Let's go ahead and make this water, because that means I can go ahead and use gold here, and let's go ahead and use redstone here. That way I can once again do gold here and here, and then let's do water down here. That way I can do gold here. In addition, let's grab some iron coolers because iron coolers must touch one gold cooler. So we can obviously use these as well. We can use these, say here, 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 and here. And then the same thing on the top side as well. So actually, let's go ahead and organize this a little bit better. Also, I want to grab a wand. And I should still have some water coolers being crafted. Let's grab those as well. And then let's try to organize this. Water, redstone, gold. I will need this, lapis. Okay, so I think that's good. Let's go ahead and redo this. So water goes here as well as here. Redstone goes here, and then we can do gold here. We can do gold here and there. And then let's go ahead and place the irons. Not here. And then here and here as well. I don't think there's anything I can place in these blank spots, but that's okay. What I'm going to do right now is let's close up the reactor and see where I'm at heat-wise. Ooh, I would like to see that number be a little bit bigger negative. Okay, so let's actually swap that out. Yeah, I would definitely like to see that bigger negative number, because when I bring this design across, it is going to only get hotter. One thing I might be able to do is kind of once I get halfway across, I can put down like an intermediate layer. And you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this halfway across the room. So I'm going to add like 4 layers to this, because this reactor is once again 11 by 11 by 11. So I'm going to make this basically 5 thick, and then once I get to the middle, I am going to do something different, and yeah, I'll be back when I am to that point. Okay, so I have this thing built halfway across the room now. So now what I want to do is I want to close this up, and I want to see where I'm at heat-wise. So I am way higher than I can possibly recover from. 33,000 RF per tick. So what I need to do is I need to come up with something better, because clearly this is going to be way too hot. There are a few things I might be able to do, but yeah. I think I need to completely restart the design, to be honest. Yeah, so I think that's what I'm going to do. Right now, I'm just going to rip this completely out. I'm going to use my flex bore, and that should make things somewhat quick. And once I have this completely torn out, I will be right back to try again. Okay, so I've come up with a new design. It's definitely a little bit more complicated. It is, rather than having like straight reactor cells, I have them kind of latticed across the back here. And I have a mixture of redstone, water coolers, and gold coolers around the outside. And then I have iron coolers outside of even those. And then in the middle here, it's just, like I said, the lattice of reactor cells and cryothium coolers. So the cryothium coolers must touch at least 2 reactor cells. The redstone coolers and the water coolers have to touch 1 reactor cell, which they all do. The gold coolers have to touch 1 water cooler and 1 redstone cooler at least, and they all do. And then the iron coolers need to touch a gold cooler, which obviously they all do. So right now we're looking at a negative 8,000 per tick heat. So obviously that's pretty good. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring this design across the reactor and see where we're at once I get it all the way across. And yeah, that's going to take a little while, so I'm going to go ahead and do that off camera with my handy dandy unbreakable wand here. And once I have that done, I will be right back. Okay, so I have the reactor built across the room, and the only thing I need to do is I need to seal up the side, because I kind of ripped it open to actually build the rest of the reactor. So I'm going to go ahead and seal this up, and then I'm going to just kind of pray that it's going to look good. Wow, I cut it a little bit closer than I really planned, but everything looks good. We have minus amount of heat. We're going to produce 111 1,600 RF per tick, which is a good amount. And yeah, so that is awesome. I was definitely a little bit scared there that I was going to run a little bit over my heat budget, which obviously would have been bad, and then I would have had to rebuild this thing again. So now what I can do is I should be able to go ahead and switch this thing on. The fuel will not last that long, but that's okay. And once this thing makes some, or once this thing depletes some of this LEU 233 fuel, I can go ahead and grab that from my system here. LEU 233 fuel, and I should be able to tell this to reprocess this if I can find my reprocessor. There we go. And so that will make, let's see if we can't look at this. That'll make some plutonium 239, 241, 242, and some of this americium 243. So that's fantastic. I should probably go ahead and set up black hole units for all that. But, you know what, I'm not going to do that right now. I'll probably do that in between episodes because it's literally the same thing I did for all of this other stuff. So yeah, I'll do that between episodes. Anyways, so in today's episode, I set up a bunch of stuff down here. I set up storage for all of the tiny particles that I'm going to get from NuclearCraft that I can use for fuels. I set up a fuel reprocessor right here that reprocesses used fuel. Obviously, that's good. I set up an isotope separator right here so that I can separate uranium into its 238 and 235 components that are found in nature. And then I set up this system over here to make some LEU 233 fuel, which I'm going to be using in this reactor I also set up in this episode, which produces 111,000 RI per tick. So that's pretty fantastic. So anyways, if you liked today's episode, definitely give it a like. If you enjoy watching automation in modern Minecraft, definitely consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't already. Anyways, signing off, I am Minecraft Phenom 08, and I will see you next time.